welcome to episode 3 of our podcast. And for this episode, I am going to be hosting this episode with Leo. We're going to be going around a little bit. But first, before we go, I want to introduce our panelists. We start with Restoration from State 39. He's an alliance leader and he is from RFN or Respect Few, Fear None. And then we have Isaac S. I don't want to call him Isaacs with an S. He's an alliance is from KIL or United in Latex, and then is from State 120. Next panelist is Mistress Jonassy. She's an alliance leader. One or just say one, and from State 271. Next is Loti or Lola. She's also an alliance leader from WTF or Raider Z, and she's from State 569. Last will be the Huntress, not last. So, the last will be the Huntress. She's an alliance leader. She's from State 395 and she's from TW1. Then we have Kanya, the alliance leader, and she's also from State 328 and 500. I just wanted to say hello to Leo. Say hi, and everyone, welcome to the podcast.
Thank
Hello,
you.
everyone.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
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 Okay, so we'll start with the topics. Today's topics will be like uh, how healthy your state is, being a governor, leader, and how do you handle the diplomacy issues within your state. So it's pretty basic that what is the status of your state with health-wise, activeness, and being a governor. How do you guys operate? Like, how do you give out the honors, the markings, the buffs? What do you decide between the state leaders? So let's start with restoration.
With the first question,
Yep.
I can start with how active our state is.
Yeah, sure.
I think we have around 600 to 700 active main accounts. It might sound like a lot of players, but our state is healthy compared to other old states, and most of our players are in the top 4 alliance. So
600 to 700 people. Wow.
active main accounts.
Yeah,
It
that,
sounds
that's
like a
pretty.
lot, but our
Still,
state
it's
is
a
healthy,
lot.
like I said.
It's a lot. Like generally in the older states, like 1 200. I don't think that many active accounts are there. On an average, it should be like 400 500 people.
Yeah, we are awesome.
Yeah, that that's true. Okay, anyone else? Who else will tell about their state and the activeness and health?
Hmm. If nobody says a word, I will start. This is the Huntress
Sure.
from
Thank you.
395. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, the problem at 395 is, I guess it's one of the states without rules, which means, yeah, you can really do whatever you want. You can go zeroing other players and no one will stop you. And the frustration about this is quite high. So I, for myself, noticed during especially the last 3 or 4 months that so many players I know from when I started over a year ago, they simply quit. You find their settlements in the desert, and they're already almost zero. And we're talking about big stars, and that is such a pity because they invested money and gear and they invested so much time. And yeah, that is really a big thing. I also play an alt at 406, which is a ruled state, and this is really a more healthy state than I play my main at.
Interesting. Like you don't have any rules like within your state.
We had now for I think the fifth or sixth time we had SVS, And yeah, the governors always set rules. They were not really behind their rules. They didn't force us as players from the state to stand behind their rules and accept them. And so basically everything is same as before SVS and the first governor.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
know this is quite. Visit 395. You're invited. It's quite. It's a different kind of playing. You can be in anarchy. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of fun. If you have a
Mm,
stress at work, you can go into the game and zero somebody.
yeah, sounds like my state when I used to play. State one is like without any rules. So
Yeah, it's a constant 395 days purge.
that's really good. If anyone who's listening who wants to go and play the without any rules, go to 395.
Yeah,
Here at
come
that.
visit my alliance.
Your alliance will help me grow, yes?
Yeah.
395 sounds fun. 271 started off like differently. We set off with like a top 20 nap right from the off. That kind of got a little bit boring. We did lose quite a few people to, where did they go to now? 364, I think they went to. Just purely because there was no rules over there. Oh yeah, we just set off with too many rules. Things have settled down now. We're now in a status quo. So, but yeah, we are active. But I think it has quietened down quite a lot.
120's been kind of interesting as far as the like rules versus no rules. We had a couple of big, kind of top players leave, and so a lot of the rules that had been set up kind of by those players ended up sort of falling by the wayside, and was definitely I think for the last maybe 6 months or so there was some pretty extreme civil war happening in our state. But we've just recently actually kind of put some rules in place so that the two kind of top alliance families are agreed not to go zeroing each other anymore. So I don't know. We're still going to see how it pans out, but it's already a little bit more dull, unfortunately. But the goal is to kind of focus on SVS and building up some of our BPs. Like I would have probably hit 1 billion a long time ago, and a couple of other top players would have. But every couple of weeks at KE, we throw away 1 million troops, so it kind of keeps you from growing too much.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
remember the days. Coming out of KE with no troops left.
So I'm from state 569. I've
Pretty
been
young
around
state.
since, it's pretty young state, but I've been around since state 148, and I have traveled around the state. So, my home state, I would say right now is state 569. It's in a way, it's a very healthy state. It's a very fun state with a lot of very interesting people. So that is the main reason I call 569 my home state. And we are also kind of a state in a way without rules. We have 4 rules which people agreed upon at the beginning of the state, and after that we didn't agree on rules, and we had one of the top alliance leaders who had disagreed with every single proposal. It was her way or no way, and so we have ended up without real rules, just 4 little simple rules and kind of code of ethics in a way where we do not really attack friends alliances, and so we have 2 factions, one alliance and its sister alliances, and other basically the other state, and we, even with those 4 rules, the alliances that are in a coalition do not attack each other, and it's just it's an interesting state. So activity-wise, I did a little experiment a few weeks ago. So we had around 2,000 people, still 2,000 characters. So it should be less right now. But this state, like getting older,
2,000 main accounts. Wow.
characters, just characters, not main accounts, because
Oh.
what I did, the little experiment, is like in State of Survival, I did the least possible thing you can do, and then I watched how many characters really applied to State of the Survival event. So it
Survival
was
of the fittest.
yes, Survival of the Fittest event, and it was around 2,000, but that's a few weeks ago. So I should probably do it again to see how we're doing. But yes, people are leaving, like in all states. And I can say most of us are basically COVID states. So people come and go all the time. Yeah, but it's true. People go back to work and then they come back sometimes. Sometimes they go to new states.
I agree because I played less since I started work again after Germany's second lockdown. That's a pity. I like this game.
Too.
Okay, so out and out, like too many rules are also bad for a state, and too less rules are also bad for a state. So there should be like kind of a diplomacy being discussed between state leaders, or is it like is there a voting system, or like people just come and go and then agree some of the rules? Some players get like rogue without following any orders or like rules within the state.
Even with too many rules, people can still leave, even if it feels healthy or you share everything. People can still leave because we don't have the right tools to keep everyone happy, keep everyone in the game.
Yeah, I don't think there is a happy
we
medium.
haven't been given the right tools from the developers.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
That's what I was gonna say. I come from originally 200. That was my main state, and then I moved to 282, and now I, have 328, which is my home state now. 200 was too peaceful. If you go to war, the number one alliance would step in, would make you do a peace treaty amongst each other for the sake of state versus state that hadn't even come out yet. 282 was too aggressive. The number one alliance was literally running around having zeroing parties every day.
Sounds very familiar.
So when I came to 328, I sat down with the leaders at the time. A lot of them have unfortunately passed on. A lot of them are still here. We all sat down and we decided no more than 4 rules to start off, but our goal is to focus on the health of the state. We want people to grow. We don't want them to be zeroed out and reset because that's not fun, especially not early on. It puts you behind. That's how we did it. But there's a thing that I've always told people: what works for one state will never work for another. It's different people, different cultures. You got to figure out what balance works for your state. That's what I said to 500. I've really stressed that to 500, who was trying to put all of these rules down and, make it to where you couldn't literally do anything. And I'm like, well, this isn't Farmville. It is a strategy war game. But yeah, you have to find a balance. There has to be a balance. If there's a war on my state, I'll monitor it, but I'm not going to step in. I'm not the police.
Yeah, if there's a rule in place, but then there's nobody enforcing that rule, then that's a really big hazard, right? It's tempting to come up with all of these like, oh, if we did it this way, if we did it that way, then everything would be great. But somebody's always going to break a rule. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to make it a rule. And
Exactly.
and if nobody is enforcing it, right? So if you put a ton of rules, like, well, now the top alliance is basically signing up to be, the
The
rule
police.
enforcer, which is, yeah, it might not be fun.
Sometimes it is nice to
That's
be.
true.
It is fun to be the police. See, we have one rule with bunkers and facilities where don't be selfish, don't solo it, rally it, do the race for the rallies. And if somebody does solo it, then we as the #1 alliance
I mean,
go in and
those
ban them.
who usually solo or the bunkers and the facilities are players that don't really care at all. I mean, I used to be a governor from state 77, but after that, I gave up. So in every state that I play, I literally ask the players that please don't promote me to any R4. I'm not gonna do leadership. I bid goodbye to state 77 because of that. Because I was the first governor that was little because I was helping them with SVS before. Remember when we have SVS like 24 hours? Then I had that for quite a while, and then I was one of the small players before, and the state got mad because they made me a governor, and I was too little. Like I don't spend a lot. Like I'm not a max player. They hate me every day. Like every day, they just make reasons to annoy the state, just break all the rules. So there I go, just going to put markings on everyone.
That was the 24-hour SVS was the best one. Seriously, they should have scrapped that.
Oh my gosh, you're saying it's the best one. I'm gonna give up. I did like four times, I think, and I said I'm not gonna do this again. Never.
It's literally so much
Uh,
fun. Like every time zone comes in, goes out. Like there are a set of
I'm
people
sorry.
who comes online and goes out, helping each other
I'd
and
like
the
to
entire
disagree
state.
on that one.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, if
It's
we
When
could
I
get
when I
it
Listen,
played
even
when I played
shorter.
Game of War, the
At
one
a-
the Super
no
attack
Bowl I
him.
offense,
had,
but I
they
already
went
wake
on
up
for
at 3
3
a.m.
days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I already wake up at 3 a.m. and I stay up through the whole dang thing, and then I still have to deal with my kids. So
Yeah,
please don't
Harley,
make it 24 hours again.
I'm in
I mean, I will
US
never do
US
that.
Pacific time zone as well. It's brutal. It's like
Let's just
if we could
force
get like
Mario to do
maybe
it
a
again.
3-hour state versus state, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You
Although
really
during
need
I
the
would
good
still be
pizza
down for that.
delivery.
So we got a question here from one of our viewers. He said that I have my account on state 726. So 726 is really, really new. I think the latest now is 743. I'm not really sure the last time I checked. And they said it is a new state, but top one player there has 60 BPS or battle power. What is your thoughts about this?
It depends on how that player is. I currently have a person named QP, and then there's a person named Fuji. Both of them are over a bill. Both of them very calm, relaxed. They're not trying to do anything. However, when I was in 500, there was a person who pushed as hard as he could to max out everything and was running around causing terror amongst the state. So it depends on how that player is. If that player is highly aggressive, I'm sorry for your state. If the players like our guys, you should be fine.
I agree to Harley, and in 569 we also had very few people who pushed really hard, and what happened was it pushed other people to spend more and spend more and more spent more, and our state really grew really fast, and we had a lot of very strong players, but it also meant that many of them kind of burned out and got bored of the game really fast. So we have a lot of strong accounts who just have quit the game. We have a whole very strong alliance who just quit the game, got bored.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of interesting to me that like some people, the motivation is just the growing process, like that's the fun part, and then once they hit that max level, they're like, nothing more to do. And then other players, usually my experience, the ones that kind of take their time and grow a little bit more methodically or more slowly, once they hit that max level, it's like, yeah, this was the goal was getting here, not just the growing process,
Rushing
right?
through.
And then
Yeah. People
Also,
like all the new states are like that only. Like people are rushing in, getting to HQ30, getting plasma and everything, but they're not enjoying the game how it's supposed to be played. Like still, we cannot like tell them that this is how you should play, but still, it's up to them.
yeah, I mean, it, if you're patient with it, like inside of a year, everybody in your state, or you're going to have a lot of max players in your state if everybody's kind of growing at a nice rate. The hard thing is when those players who do rush to the top right away, it's usually going to be somebody with some kind of like very dramatic personality. I'm sure a lot of people would probably in my state would probably say that about me. But like if they're not thinking about kind of the long term, then yeah, you're gonna see like what we saw in 120, where there's a handful of players who are really good players, really good people running the state, and then they get maxed and they're kind of like become bored.
To be
What
honest,
is
I
also
spent a lot during my lockdowns, and yeah, I'm glad I found out of spending. And once you get the purple gear, you get a little satisfied. And yeah, I really enjoy the game. I enjoy hanging around in Alliance chat and just talking with the people, doing fiends or PZs and laughing around and telling what happened. And this maxing out just for events is, yeah, not really satisfying for me personally.
Friendly
the thing
competition.
also with
lots of money.
maxing out really fast is that at the one point you don't really help your alliance anymore, because you can't get the points in throwdown event, or for example, and then I know in older states I know people who just make the farm account just because, so they would help the alliance to gain some points in some events, because their first account is just maxed out, and
This is
it's
crazy.
boring on the it's boring on the first account, boring for them, and they can't really help the alliance. They're just pretty big and fluffy, but in the events they're not that much of a help. Well, in some events.
I mean, I
Can you
understand those who race to the top to get the leaderboards, get better battle power, but like as the game progress though, when you have like what you guys said that you've got like throwdowns and other things like normal SOTF, you don't have anything to use because you all mapped out. And I'm seeing that in some of my alliances or some of my states, like 53, 35, that the spenders or the max people just don't. I think the only task that they do is just train troops, the best they can do for those ones.
Yeah.
Or even spend their speed ups, so or bike ups when it comes to skin events and nothing more. Like they can't go up higher than their chief gears or hero gears and other things. But some of them make farms, like you guys said, but some just don't. Like when they know that a new feature is up, then they are active. And on that moment, when the reset comes, then they are going to go up, and then max it out, and then leave and just go around whenever they want to. But some of these big spenders, though, are really good when it comes to they participated, at least not on like throwdown or other things, but at least they do help their alliances when it comes to influencer trap, bunkers and facilities, SVS, and reservoir raid.
Yeah, that begs my next question. Like, how your all the states which we are talking right now, how do you manage your alliance events and roles? Like, do you have specific R4s dedicated for specific events, or given the specific roles,
I do.
strategy, building strategies?
We have, I think, 14 R4s right now. Each one of us takes a task. Like I'm responsible for the raid. We have one person who does the showdown, one person who focuses on throwdown. We have one person who handles diplomacy because a lot of us don't want to talk to people. We have one person who is responsible for solely helping us with the Discord. About 3 of us will get together and we'll come up with like formations and we run tests with other people and things like that. One person does bunkers. We split it up because the way we see it is being R5 is already stressful enough. We're going to help you out.
At 395 TW1, we have it similar to you. We have R4s, and every R4 has kind of a special responsibility, like you say, showdown and throwdown. In fact, the R5 does a very, very big amount of the jobs, but I would say all of us R4s help him. Like, if we notice he hasn't reminded in Discord for the very 100th time, it's time to log in now. Of course, somebody else writes the message to everyone. But I saw that diplomacy was my job. As you already mentioned, it's not everybody is born for diplomacy. Some are just for guns and wars. And yeah, Discord is also something very special. Only 1 or 2 people should handle, otherwise it will be just a chaos.
Yeah, literally for this game, I had to. Sorry, go on, Teddy.
No, just go on. I'm just going to call your name actually.
I kept myself muted. I was a little bit scared. Yeah, in 271, I basically taught myself how to use Discord. So I built the 271 Discord server and I did the One Family server. I love spreadsheets. Yes, I am sad, but I love spreadsheets. So I do the alliance stats for like growth tracker kind of thing. Showdown is my deal, although we're not doing so great recently. Throwdown, everybody just mucks in on there, getting rid of the duplicates and all the rubbish ones. Trap and bunkers are like a joint venture, so we all discuss where we want to go and which one's got the best rewards kind of thing. If it's got Maddie frags or Nicola frags, leave it well alone. Yeah, we work well as a team.
See, you do spreadsheets. I have 6 whiteboards that are dedicated just to THR. I do
I've got
whiteboards.
so many tabs on my spreadsheets. I even made an SOS governor one. Which you've probably seen it in the collab server.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you somehow replace or help those people with those sheets because all the assets of collabs are down now. So your sheets and other people's sheets actually help other players now. So we're thankful for that. And maybe this to restoration, and then Isaac, and then who was the last one who haven't said anything about this? I think Queen Lola.
Yeah, okay. Well, we basically have the same like the others. People have roles, and Discord, I have it. I take care of it. We are luckily our state Discord is also our alliance Discord, so it's easy to handle, very easy. Yeah, it's the same. People have roles and help out our part. We are very democratic, so it's not one guy doing everything.
But you split the Discord in private areas and public areas then?
Yeah. People get roles so they can't have, so they don't have access to our alliance.
That's interesting.
Yeah, our family Discord, we've got 3 alliances in our family. So we've got one server for the 3 alliances. Each alliance has their own set rooms that they can speak in, and then there's the all 3 alliances groups.
The only bad thing with that is the admins, they can see all the channels, so they don't have.
Yeah, I'm the admin, so it's really bad.
They don't have the fully privacy that they wish, maybe.
Nah.
This is what I meant with my sentence. Only one or two people should handle Discord then. You could also set a special admin role, which is like an admin 2. You could just tighten the admin 2 role a little bit. So this admin has not insight in every part then.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you can see the
We
channels. Yeah, that's
And the
possible.
rooms that you're not included in, like
Yep.
with
Mhm.
the 3 alliances, I've only got an account in one of them, so I'll mute the other 2 rooms anyway, so I don't have to read them. Mute the
we
Wow, we,
had a family one as well, and we did. There's a section for R4s and R5s to talk. There's a spot for straight just R5s. So they can have their little discussions and things that they need to do. And then there's just all of the general chats, and then we have at the very bottom where we post tips and tricks. So if we find out information, we can post it there and get it amongst all of us. The same thing is on THR's personal Discord. There's the same setup. So
y'all have way fewer Discords than we do in 120. We have there's 3 state Discords.
Cool.
Oh my god.
I think
Wow.
I think there
Oh
may
my
have been another
gosh, why
one.
do you have 3 state discords?
What?
Well, you know,
Why?
every
Your
so
state
often,
has a split
every
have
so
personality,
often
one.
people will be like, oh, we need a new one for this new thing. I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
first one, like the person who started it, sort of left and it was just kind of abandoned. I stay in the other 2 old ones just because every so often somebody will come in there and ask a question, and I'm like, hey, dude, you should go over to this other one that we're all in. And then we have one just for kill, and then there's another for the Brotherhood, which is kind of our alliance family. I think there's I lose track now. There's like three alliances in that family that are really strong, and then there's like a handful of other ones as well that are kind of affiliated. Yeah, we just every time there's an issue or somebody gets mad at somebody else, they'll go create a new Discord. So we've ended up with a
I'm
lot
so
of them.
curious. I want to join your state discords.
I do too.
Yeah,
I'll send you
I
a
just
link.
wanted
to
to
the
read-
admit as well. 271
Don't
made
let her
girls
in.
room as well,
No,
just
We're
because the
gonna
men
take
were
over your Discord.
annoying.
So I want to read some of the comments that I'm reading here. Let's start with, how do you deal with alliances that have multiple players with over 1 billion battle power? 386 number 1 alliance is 22 billion battle power and 8 of top 10 players in state.
Equivalent.
have
395 has
top
an easy answer for that. We don't get to 1 billion because we kill each other before, and then we start around at 300 million battle power. Stop laughing. This is really such a sad thing.
I think what he means is
So-
those states with super alliances. Those
we have
are the biggest
in
one, and then the
328.
rest are just small.
In 328, we have, like I said, 2 people who are on the top list. There's QP, who is top 16. And then we have Fuji, who I believe is in the top 20s. Both of them are over 1 bill. They're both in separate alliances. QP is with us in THR, and Fuji is with TPK, who is number 2. But we're all family. So come state versus state, we work together. We have a lot of coordination. We talk amongst each other. We work as a team, as one. For us, we're pretty similar mindseted. Like, we want what's best for 328. We primarily focus on what is best for 328 as a whole. So that's how ours works. But I don't know about other states. Like, I've heard some that have really strong players that just kind of go around and do whatever they want. So
what you can talk with them if they don't want to agree on stuff, on sharing bunkers or stuff like that, then try not to help them during SVS, or then show them that they really need you guys.
Agree.
Well,
Yeah, I agree with
in
that as well.
569, we have we are around 8 alliances that are like very close, that work together and work in capitals together. And then we have one alliance which do not work well with us. And the leader of the alliance, as I already said earlier, it was impossible to talk with her and to come to any agreement with her, even though she wasn't the strongest person in the alliance. She was the leader of the alliance. And there will be people that you won't be able to talk with. And there will be people that will not agree on anything. And it's just you have to accept that and try to move forward. And even now, when when this leader of the alliance has left the game, even now, still there is a gap between this one strong alliance and the whole state. So one person can really influence the whole state just because of the personality.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
you
kind of
have
like
to.
kind of like a culture. If it is like a bad culture from the start, then it's going to ruin the rest of the people also.
I mean, I would say just stick in there, like stick with it and keep growing. 120 has pretty much always had like these two rival alliance families, and there was definitely a few people who were just I don't know, difficult to to try and make some kind of deal with, and we kept on it and you know, held our ground, and now we're kind of at a point where a handful of those folks have left, or you know, and everybody's kind of gotten tired of just constant war, and so now we're able to actually make some you know, some peaceful arrangements and move forward and hopefully not make things too boring.
Yeah.
I
You're
once
so lucky to be in
experienced
271. Sorry.
yeah, somehow you never experienced a very top player as governor who would refuse to answer to anybody. He really just didn't answer. He was governor, and you could ask whatever you want. He didn't react. He didn't react. He didn't give any buffs, not even to the state. He was just simply existing. That was
Wow, that's
frustrating.
rough.
Yeah, one
That's
thing I can
rough
say,
there.
even when we've had these like bitter rivalries within the state, most of the governors that we've had in 120 at least have definitely seen their role as you know, not just out for themselves or for their alliance, but really trying to make the state as a whole stronger. Obviously, I mean, if somebody starts attacking your allies and your governor, like, yeah, you're gonna shackle them or debuff them or whatever.
Yeah, our one Bill plus guy, just Lily. He's been governor a few times, and he'll make sure that the whole state can request whatever titles that they want. He's also
That's
got an alt
interesting.
Octopussy, which is another maxed account. But yeah, he's just a big teddy bear. He's lovely.
Yeah, see, that's how ours is too. Our governor is.
Teddy bears are
very,
good.
I shouldn't say that really. He's
It sounds
he's a big strong man.
you know?
He might turn into a beast.
Uh-oh.
So
To
I
be
guess
fair, he will love
question,
this
guys.
because he has just made it to 69 in the leaderboards. His favorite number.
I got I got another interesting question from one of our commenters here, and they said that how do you handle issues within your alliance leadership? The first question is about your leadership within your alliance. And then the second question to follow that will be how do you handle issues within your
Oh, we lost one.
Yeah.
Did I cut out?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
The
couldn't hear.
first question is how do you handle issues within the leadership within your alliance? And then to follow that, how do you handle issues in your state?
The state's easy. If people are in state chat mouthing off at a specific person, you just take them to PM, get them out of state chat. Because as soon as it goes into state
Yeah.
chat, it starts getting toxic. Take them into
Yeah.
PM, do it one-on-one, and they soon calm down.
Yeah, kind of like a
Exactly.
mod.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I see it happening, then I'll do it myself. And then within leadership, within the alliance, it just gets talked out. Just everybody says their opinion, and it just gets talked out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we do it too.
Yep.
Like I was gonna say earlier, for disputes amongst our state, somebody brought up the how do you handle rogue people? We try to let the R5s handle their own alliance. Like we give them the ultimate choice, and then we let the two alliances kind of try to work it out amongst themselves. If we have to step in, we'll step in, but normally we don't. And if it's within my alliance, we'll sit down and be like, yo, first off, you two go chill. Then we'll come back and talk. So
I agree with some trouble at Alliance Chat to pull them out, like Mr. Jonesy said, in PMs. Usually, luckily, in TW1 395, we don't have any issues. It's a very friendly, familiar. Yeah, it's like a real family. We're really friendly and peaceful together, and also the leadership. Everybody has his voice. We know we have come from different places all over the world, not only Europe, but everybody has an own voice, and it sometimes takes time to catch up with what the others say and build your own opinion. And if a decision, which is not needed under pressure, takes 2 or 3 days, we just give them these days, and then R5 sometimes says, okay, what is your favorite? Now we have 4 votes against and 4. So what do you decide now? And we never have any big issues at our leadership. I'm very glad of that.
I think that that's a big part of how to keep a solid foundation for an alliance is if you're the R5, give your R4s a voice. That's why you nominated them. Like you didn't just go through and pick them for no reason. They had to have shown some kind of leadership skills. Allow them that voice. If it's amongst your state, they are leaders as well. So you have to respect them, whether you agree with them or not. Keep your tones very respectful to each other. There's no need for name calling and belittling on a video game. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, sometimes you got to remind people it is just a game. Calm down.
Sometimes I have to remind this me myself.
Okay, so okay, one more interesting question from my end is like, how do you guys handle the reward distribution for the Fortress event? And I think that is the only event which requires an R4 or R5 for the distribution or something. And
Yeah, I can start with that. Yeah, I did it before. I gave out the rewards, and I just whoever was online, even if you sent March and it didn't make it to the building, I still gave them rewards. Split them up to everyone who was online, and whoever doesn't need the rewards, just give it to someone else.
Yeah,
We're
that's
And
a
what's
very good
left,
solution. We do it similar.
yeah, and what's left, just split them out to people you know usually are there, but not today.
I
So
remember
we
my alliance gave me crates when I once somehow got hacked and got zeroed by my hacker, and then I had to start really by zero. Oh my god! And then R5 agreed with all other members to prefer me with crates. Like I got more crates and more bonuses, so I could get my strength back quite soon, and that was really impressing. I didn't expect this because usually it's everybody like, yay, the crates. I myself, we give it, everybody gets one crate, everybody in the alliance, although those were not online, and the onliners, like you said, who sent a march or were online or were present in alliance chat, they also get little rewards, and also the very little ones who need it to grow, because these are our members who want to keep and encourage.
Yeah,
I
we
just,
do the same. Sorry.
I mostly stay out of the reward distribution game, but my R5 just pinged me and said that they all the bunker rewards just get split up among everybody in the alliance. For me, I mean, I just always show up for the bunkers because it's really just the first occupation rewards that actually matter, right? Like, what am I going to do with Nicola frags or research speed ups or whatever? Like, it's all about the training and healing speed ups.
We do ours a little strange. We want to promote smaller alliances to grow. So THR and quite a few of the other top alliances will allow smaller alliances to take first century rewards to help our state. As far as distribution goes inside of our state, or inside of our alliance, yeah, we're lazy. We just give it out evenly. If you have been online and you're not offline for days, congratulations, you got a reward.
In 569, we are a bit more, in my alliance, we are a bit more strict on this. We have a specific R4 who is handling all the fortresses, all the bunkers, who signs up for them, and also does the distribution. So we go to a point where we make snapshots of who is participating, who are sending marches, and those are the people who are getting the gifts. But I think it's because we are a younger state and we have maybe like we need those crates, and so this is also a way how we like promote people to actually participate in the bunker fights and participate in fortresses and actually to show up for them. So if you don't show up, you're probably not gonna get that, well, you won't get anything, or you will get very little. So if you show up, you get more, and so it's a reason to show up for the fight.
Is it in your alliance like this that mostly the same people show up at bunkers and fortresses?
Always.
Yeah, there's a handful of people in ours too who just always show up for bunkers and fortresses. But
I think it's the time zones, to be fair. They are rubbish. They really are.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal in some places.
Which is why we kind of just, we're very international, so we kind of backed off with that. We're just like, okay, if you need it, take it. If you don't want it, just request not to get it, and we'll pass it on.
Yeah, for certain things like Maddie and Nicola fragments, I'll send a group message saying who needs them, because not many people need them, or anybody under 100 mil will automatically get given them. We do tend to reward the R4s for the work that they do, so we always make sure that the R4s get something. Anybody and everybody who turns up, ports in but misses it, sends a march and misses it, they still get rewards. And then anybody that we notice, like at SVS or Capital, that's always on pretty much all day, we'll make sure that they get rewards as well.
It's quite fair though. Those rules are fair almost. Like usually some of my lines, like on state 53, what we do is they distribute. I'm not an R4 or any R5 in any of my states, even if I'll have a lot of states. But most of what the leaders usually do this by who participated, for example, for the bunkers, who participated in that will have a better position in an influencer trap. Who participated in other events usually have more benefits, but they try to be as fair with everyone. Like you said, that the time difference is really bad in this game. So they try to give other people who were not able to participate in events like other rewards as well. But most of the time, they always prioritize those who are always present. Like for example, for Reservoir League or Reservoir Raid. So those who are always participating on that when it comes to the league, then you will have a better chance to join the main participant if on a normal Reservoir Raid you are participating most of the time. And then it's the same with influencer trap. The more active you are, the more closer you are to the influencer trap. And also for the bunkers and and facilities. But I'm more curious to know though, when it comes to like we know that some of the players are wanting some ranks. So how do you promote people or demote people, and at the same time how are you able to reward them? Like for example, for is going to join or is going to go near the influencer trap or is going to join for Reservoir Raid or Reservoir League and other events.
I go.
Okay, so I do for Reservoir Raid, we do first come, first serve. We don't necessarily prioritize our strongest guys. If they can't be there, then why put them on the list? Um, Influencer traps, we swap out places often because we do bi-weekly rotation. And I can tell you I'm not getting up at 1300 in the morning to do a trap. That's not happening. So I'll swap out my place with someone else. Um, but for the most part, it's very first come, first serve. If you sign up on time, then you get in.
Yeah, we do the same for Reservoir Raids. It's a group message goes
Mm.
out as soon as registration opens up, and
Yeah,
anybody who replies and says, I can make that time, they get put in.
we have the same for Reservoir Raid.
Yep.
And for Trap, the old system used to be the biggest guys front row or front 2 rows. Nowadays, because we're on the new system, it's like level 4, so couldn't really give two hoots where you are. You're just going to end up with the same prizes anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Until they change it again.
Okay, so so the I think we are done with it. Just one or two questions or discussions remaining is like how do your state prepare for SVS, like prepare for before 2 weeks or end of the reservoir raid, you guys start preparing that you are going to win the prep stage or you are going to lose the prep stage or going to defend or going to invade, that kind of discussions.
We
Well,
usually
let me
have been.
start with
Oh,
395 again.
go for it.
The first SVS we had, we tried to agree, and as I already said, it's really hard to get all the top 10 alliances on one table with one voice, because we would really just rather shoot on each other than talk with each other. And yeah, in SVS, we tried to have a nap between top 10, which was just looked at by the opponent. Yeah, it held exactly 5 hours, and then some top player of top 2, I think, attacked some top player of top 1. And then everybody was just like, okay, they can't even have a nap for more than 5 hours. And that was our first SVS. And we won, by the way. We won because we're so used to war. We were absolutely able to have a private war running in the back and fighting for capital in the front. That was quite funny. In the meantime, we got a little smarter. We tried to lose prep stage, which is not always possible because someone in this discussion said 2,000 active characters. No matter how powerful you and your alliance are, and no matter how good you control your own people, there's still about, I don't know, maybe 40 alliances with people who will simply not follow. And you can't influence them. You can't even control your own hungry players sometimes when they just want to max out their own rewards for this day. So basically, I had SVS, yeah, the other state coming to us, we going to the other state, and I really must say it's not a big difference.
Well, it's even less of a big difference now, right? Because with the alert zone and some of the other changes, and especially with some of the stuff we're going to be seeing with the like MiGo wall destroyer skill, I'm really curious what SVS is going to look like in the future. I think it's going to be a whole different game. So we've done probably every iteration you can imagine as far as like intending to lose, intending to win. When we fought against, well, I think State 139 RBL, just we tried to win prep and lost, and then we tried to win SVS and lost. But yeah, I think looking forward now, we do have this agreement between our top alliances to join up and work together. I think we've seen there'd been a lot of resistance to creating like a one big merged up alliance with all of the state's strongest players. But we've seen so many times that that's worked so well against us that finally we're like, okay, we're gonna try and do this, put all our differences aside and get all our strongest accounts together to try and really dominate in the warfare stage. But yeah, I think the clear incentive now is to try and win prep, because you don't have much of an advantage anymore as the defender, right? If those first 4 rows all get knocked out at the start of the clash, and then at least if you win prep, well, if you're completely outmatched, you can just raid the whole state for 12 hours and still keep your governor.
We have
Yeah.
we have top
You
20
go
still alive. So for us, we have the top 2 alliances, and we have 2 alliances that open up for state versus state that are specifically to help out, where everybody can come in and participate and help the state. So it's kind of like a constant turnover for us. And then we determine if we want to win or if we want to lose. But normally we don't stick to that. We flip flop a lot.
It's always
Right,
frustrating
kind
when
of.
the state decides to lose prep and there's a couple of players who are just trying to just clearly
Push.
maxing
Yeah,
out
just keep
and pushing
pushing,
very hard. Yeah.
Like we're
That's
we're
true.
gonna lose this one. Nobody gained points. And then you have people who go and gain points, and you're just like, look, I know you've been saving it up, but come on now.
It's actually easier.
So
I find it's easier to just decide to win prep, because then you don't have to be upset at anybody pushing.
It's so much
exactly,
more
that's
fun when
kind
you
of
win
what
prep as well.
it's kind
'Cause
of what we're coming to as well.
In state 39, what we have, because we rotate on the governor, whoever is governor choose the tactic and if we should win or lose the prep stage. And I think we will go back to just pure discussion because of the alert zone coming up. Because it doesn't make, I mean, it's not necessary to have 4 people choose the same tactics. I mean, everyone will want to win now with the alert zone.
Yeah, that is a new interesting feature that the devs have added, plus the MiGo buffs, which is like stacked with your alliance. You cannot go into the another alliance and your MiGo buffs will follow you. It's in stays with your alliance. So that is a really interesting move made by devs.
I know when we did a couple of state versus states, we chose to win. We did aim to win prep stage. I mean, we always tend to win prep stage. We've lost a couple of ones, and defending's just boring. It can get boring just sitting in capital. And even when we win, there was one state versus state where we actually won prep. We went over there, we hit the capital, we got our hats, and we disappeared on hunting trips because
That's
it's
what we did once.
yeah, it is so boring just sitting in. This was when it was 12 hours. It was just so boring. So yeah, going out hunting was so much fun, and you don't have to sit there all day. You can disappear, go shopping, and then come back, and you can make your dinner, and you can come back, and you don't just have to sit there all day.
That's so true.
I will say with the new mechanics, I could have done without the extra hour in the morning. I was already getting up
Yeah,
at
is that
3.
a set
Now
thing
I
now?
get to. I don't know,
Currently.
but I know it started at 2, and I was like, really?
I want to read some of the comments again here. Eric said that handing out awards to everyone will only kill participation in your growth in game. And Leia, max rewards for people who fight and others to people that are active and doing stuff usually in alliance. When we don't need some rewards, we give it to the smaller to grow. And Chrissy said, hard when you have more than 30 who want are going to increase the amount of participants in Reservoir Raid and Reservoir League. And then Gia said, you can't rotate the team in RL. You need a more bond and stronger one. The rest have chances in Reservoir Raid. But to understand the strategy is there, it is easy. Drawing a spoon of the water. And then I got a question for you guys from where? Where is that question? From Rebecca Air. She said, have any of you had to navigate a merge? I think she's talking about alliance merges as leaders, and if so, was it a positive or negative experience? And any tips for a successful alliance merge?
Done it twice, and both times were awesome.
Same.
Well worth it.
As far as the killing participation of the events, we're not challenged very often in my state. Normally, if somebody does challenge THR's bunker, they realize they messed up and they teleport away. So, I mean, I can't necessarily be like, oh, hey, go show up for this bunker, or you don't get rewards. Or my guys are just going to be like, well, we don't have bunkers this week. Don't know what to tell you. They don't see the necessity to just teleport over there. We do let one of our smaller guys go and rally at the bunker if nobody gets that first entry, though. So, but all of my R4s, for the most part, we don't take our rewards. And that gives more to our alliance as a whole. So,
I could maybe comment on the merge aspect because I have in several states been through many merges, and I have a positive experience and I have very negative experience. The most negative was when an English-speaking alliance tried to merge with the mainly Italian-speaking alliance. The merge ended after 3 days when Italian-speaking alliance just merged out because we couldn't get along. That's, I would say, you have to have an alliance who speaks the same language if you merge with it. Or at least you have to be ready to translate all the time, and the mentality is the same. But I have been also with very positive merges, and mostly how I have handled merges is you have stronger people, which usually what happens is goes in one alliance, and then you have smaller who goes back to one alliance, and sometimes they grow. The smaller alliance grow to be almost as big as the bigger alliance. Sometimes they die out. It's just I would say it usually is to keep the most active people alive in the state. And
we have
unfortunately, it sometimes means that smaller ones you game.
I want to hear
We
what Leo has
had-
to say about the merges.
Oh, the state merges or within
No,
the
alliance
state?
merges. Alliance merges.
For the older states, it is a necessity because I think most of the older states don't have much players who comes online for the events, like bigger events. Maybe because they are bored, but still, like two alliances mergers is the best way to go. There should not be a burden between like only one alliance who's doing everything and rest of the state is just bubbling up and like without doing anything. Like, but newer states, you have like so many alliances, so many people growing together, and like they don't have like all the rules which older states had. They had the luxury now with the newer states to have like 5, 10 alliances participating in SVS.
Yeah, agree.
We
Thank
had, to touch up on what she said, we had a German alliance join us. And we've actually had a pretty positive aspect. Like, we agree on things, it's been pretty smooth for the most part. But it does come down to how they think, how you think, what you see, and how you play and how they do. That's going to be a big determiner on a merge.
Completely agree on that one. Definitely, you need to speak it out, talk it all out, figure out your numbers, make a spreadsheet.
The favorite.
You know me. I like spreadsheets.
Yeah, you
Get
already said
all
that.
the names down there. Get all the
My
names.
appearance.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
it's
My experience with merges is some simply are